Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for July 25th, 2021, with your host, Peacemaker2448, and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hi.
We have a good movie to talk about. I do not look forward to talking about the continuity of this fucking movie. God damn it. Because it's a handful.
Oh.
Like a handful.
Right.
Handful.
Right. Yeah, there was another thing, too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this movie's never at all even remotely referenced in Build.
That too. Right, that too.
So, that makes matters even worse.
Yeah.
I forgot about that until just now, and it's like, wait a minute. This never was... Oh, frick.
So, folks, this week in our continuing watching Rider movies, because we are waiting for the release date for Ryuki from Shout Factory, it's the second Heisei Generations movie. Kamen Rider Heisei Generations Final, Build and Xaid with Legend Riders.
And don't let the name fool you, it is not the last one.
Yeah, 'cause apparently what happened was, and this affected Geo's production, they underestimated when the Emperor was going to step down, so it would, stop being the Heisei era and then would be the Reira era. So they essentially had to make another show to end the Heisei era on, because they were off by a year, which technically means by design Build was meant to be the final Heisei series. I guess.
Which actually probably would have been better.
I mean, yeah.
And by probably,
Yeah.
I mean it definitely would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to clarify that one.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Geo, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the second Heisei Generations movie. This is the Build Xaid crossover. We have skipped a few years. Don't worry. Most of the people we've talked about so far are here.
Yeah.
Fucking 3 shows we've talked about on here are featured in this movie. The only ones that aren't are Gaim and the lead people.
But for that, just kind of literally watch varieties of the content throughout the years, and yeah, we talked about all of those shows very extensively, so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie debuted December 9th, 2017 in theaters, and has 2 writers, except they didn't write 2 different sections. They collaborated, apparently. We have Shogo Muto, who is the main writer of Build, and wrote, I'm willing to say, real quick, all of Build. Yes, he wrote every single episode of Build. He wrote this movie with our other writer. He wrote Be the One in the 2 New World V cinemas. And he also wrote the Build novel with Takahito Omori, who is a producer of Toei. But our other writer is... Oops. That's not right. Why did I leave that as Riku Sanjo? That's not correct. I accidentally didn't change that, even though I changed everything after that.
Whoops.
My bad. I say that like you could see the notes. You people listening to this.
Yeah, I mean, they can't.
Yeah.
I can. And I was like, that doesn't seem right, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Yuya Takahashi. He is the main writers of both X8 and 01. He wrote every episode of X8. He wrote a majority of the episodes for 01, but not all of them. He also actually got his start in writing for writer by writing the Type Tokujo specials. That's the murder mystery special, I believe, from Drive. Of course, he wrote this. He wrote the XA. He wrote the XA Tricks special that led into the Another Ending trilogy. He wrote the Brave special that featured Foundation X as the secret villain from the Toei Tokusatsu fan club. He wrote All True Ending. He wrote the Paradox special. And the Get 'em. Oh, apparently the Get 'em special and the Paradox special are two different specials, but he wrote both of those. He wrote all the Another Ending movies. He wrote Last Judgment. It was supervised by Yasuko Kobayashi, who's the main writer of Amazons. He wrote Railroad Generations, so we'll see him again in a week. He wrote Real Time, so we'll see him again in 2 weeks. And he also wrote the 01 Others V Cinemas, Metsubo Genrai, Vulcan Valkyrie, and the Get 'em's President Special. And lastly, the X8 novel, Mighty Novel X. So, yeah, these two people are very well versed in their shows.
And to a certain degree, it does show.
Yeah.
There's some minor hiccups with how they treat banjos sometimes, but besides that, yeah, it very shows.
Yeah. And lastly, this was directed by Kazuya Kamihorichi, who we have seen before because he directed Rebirth Spectre. He also did he did the Allen specials for Ghost. He did 4 episodes of X-Aid, plus several other extended material, including the Go Rider special. He did 9 episodes of Bill, 2 episodes of Geo, 3 episodes of 01, and at the current moment, 6 episodes of Saber, along with this movie, Respecter, and he directed Be the One. So he is responsible for that really good drone shot that they did in that movie of the drone following Build running away and then going into a building, being caught by a cameraman, and then continuing the shot. It is a really good shot. So yeah. So let's talk about continuity.
Yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Where do you want to begin on the continuity of the 6 individual shows involved in this movie?
I mean, I guess you could start with the main ones, because that's probably the worst of it.
Okay, so Build in this case. This apparently takes place between episodes 14 and 15.
Kind of, because Sento kind of implies that he's never used sparkling, even though we debut sparkling in episode 14. And by the way, guess when the Katsuragi reveal that Katsuragi's or Sento's Katsuragi? Is it the same episode?
Episode 15.
Oh. Okay. Good. I was gonna say, because if it's the same episode, oh my god.
No, it's the episode before, the episode after this movie takes place, apparently.
Which is why it's considered continuity is right there, because that would be the most logical sense there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except that doesn't work.
Yeah. Also, our post-credit scene apparently takes place before episode 16. So, apparently, somewhere between the end of the movie and the post-credit scene, episode 15 happened, and then while they're busy doing a thing that apparently is applied to be what they do, except not, is episode 16. Yay, that doesn't make sense.
Nope.
That's not how that scene is staged. Granted, they say it's a smash attack and all they're fighting is guardians, so... Oops.
I mean, shh.
So shall we talk about the X8 continuity? That then plays into more build continuity.
Yes.
Okay. So, for those that remember X8, Build appeared twice in X8 material for reference. So he appeared in a post-credit scene for True Ending. But he also appeared in an episode of of X8 itself. Specifically, it's not that episode. Which episode is it? Is it this episode? Yes, episode 44. Because that's where the get him where Dan's talking about when he encountered
Oh,
Build.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in terms of X8 continuity,
Because I seem to recall we at the time that Build had started, were trying to figure out if that was Sento Build or Katsuragi Build.
well, this movie confirms that it's Katsuragi Build.
Because it kind of has to be.
Yeah, which leads to fun continuity things, because this movie takes place after, of course, True Ending and pretty much the end of X8. But before we get into all of the Another Ending stuff, so pretty much that one Paradox special that I mentioned earlier, that leads into Another Ending, yeah, this is before all that. But for X8 itself, within the context of this movie, we are a week after pretty much the end of True Ending. But in the case of Build, from that specific scene, we are 2 years later. Because time is relative.
Yeah, time is relative to the planet that it's on, which actually, now that I'm thinking about that more, yeah, that point would actually help solidify some things in the movie too.
Right.
Okay. Huh. So they did think about that a little bit more.
Right. So that's the weird, complicated, timey-wimey bullshit, because we technically can't have Sento be the one that stole X8's ability to transform, even though he didn't take Parad, which should be the case. We'll get to that at the end of the movie.
That's one of those, just be quiet about that, because we need him for something in the movie that only he can do.
It is so weird a thing they imply about X8's power set, and I'm like, that's not how that works.
But you know, not at all.
No. It's not that as specific as that. It's more general. So I guess going backwards, because that kind of helps. Ghost well, even though the wiki page I have pulled up does not list Gaim's continuity on here for some stupid reason.
But for that one, I also kind of feel like a lot of the stuff with Gaim, it's just post Gaim in some arbitrary time frame outside of there.
Well, it also
because
it doesn't help that
literally anything pertaining to just Kota kind of could take place at any given time.
fair, because no one else from Gaim shows up. Mai doesn't even get a behind the back cameo like she did in the first Heisei Generations movie, because I think she got a behind the back cameo in that movie, right?
I think.
I know Kota did, because they showed the costume he has for his Overlord form, but they didn't show Kota himself. I thought Mai got a cameo in that movie. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe. You might be right on that one.
Yeah. Also, give me a second. I gotta go let him dog out real quick. All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, going backwards, Ghost. This is post Respector, even though nothing about Respector is mentioned in this movie at all.
Yeah.
But this is also before the Ghost novel, where apparently Takaru loses Mugen. Apparently.
How does he manage to, lose himself?
I don't know. Look, I have fucking fifth hand knowledge of the Ghost novel. To the point where
how?
Look, supposedly in that novel they resolve the dumb time nonsense from Genesis.
Fair.
That I have the page pulled up. Apparently, Genesis is an alternate timeline due to a space-time anomaly that occurs in this novel.
Huh.
Adele was the Gamma Ultima that murdered Takaru's dad. Or actually, no, he murdered Makoto's dad, apparently. And the Spectre icon contains a part of his dad's soul. You remember Takaru's kid? Who, popped in from the future in the last episode?
Yeah.
Well, he becomes New Ghost in the stage show from the future after the robot, the AI thing in the show goes Terminator, more or less. He's from a Terminator future, more essentially. Apparently his white coloring is from the Mugen icon. The Gemma people are humans that lived on ancient Earth. The Great Eye is an alien. Takaru's mom, names is Yuri. Makoto's mom's name is Naoko. We get Narita's full name. And apparently Takaru blew up the Mugen icon to save his wife, who is the one chick from Respecter. Chloe? I don't even remember if her name's even said in that movie.
I don't either, actually.
Weird lady that was in a crystal. Her? Because she's the one that Takaru gets with to have a kid. Apparently it's to save her when she was pregnant, because she's pregnant in this novel. How that works, again, I don't know. This is like fifth-hand knowledge of the fucking novel. So, I don't even have confirmation that all these things have supposedly happened. I think also, yeah, Takaru's dad is confirmed to be a writer, and he's confirmed to be essentially Zero Ghost. Which is essentially a red version of Ghost.
So, Boost.
Yes and no. Yes, it's boost color. No, because it's literally Ore but red. Supposedly.
I mean, technically isn't just boost Ore but red?
Yes. Anyway, that's where we are in Ghost continuity. Gaim continuity we talked about. This is essentially post everything related to Gaim because Coates is the only one that shows up, so as long as we are past full throttle, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Heisei! So, okay, I have to correct a thing here because I feel like they wrote this movie and then everyone complained about a thing and then they retconned it, but that's how the movie was written to start with. So this takes place before Ultimatum. Because, you know, in that movie, Gentaro loses the Heisei driver in the future. And we are now 5 years after Ultimatum, so... But here's the thing. Yuki's not coming back from space. She's going into space. Because they say she's going into that Gentaro's in Russia to see Yuki off as she's going into space, and Kengo's in, like, at the command center. I'm going to double check that and make sure, but that was the dialogue that was explicitly said by Jake.
I'm pretty sure you're right on that.
Which is not what's happening in Ultimatum. Yuki's coming back from space. Yeah, see Yuki off on her space mission. She's going to space. Not coming back from space, going to space. She's coming back from space in Ultimatum, which means this is before the proper events of Ultimatum to start with, so there's no retcon. There's no need to retcon it. They're correct. Also, Kengo was not with Gentaro in Russia. Also, I'm pretty sure they weren't in Russia to start with at that part of the movie. They were just nearby at a nearby space center. So, yeah. Anyway, that's not the wrong part. The wrong part is the O's one. So, you know, we're post O's, post the movies we've talked about, you know, Mega Max Ultimatum. So, Eji's got his medals, right? Why is he acting like he doesn't have his medals? Why is one of our villains implies that Edgy can't transform? Why does Edgy use medals when he could just use his own?
Unless that's just a thing. Because,
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Memory of Heroes do the same thing?
Yes.
So...
yeah. Oh, God damn it.
I just happened to think about that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Memory Heroes is like, yeah, because he uses the fucking cities versions of the medals.
Uh-huh.
But he's got his medals back in Mega Max. Unless he gave them... No, he can't. Because the O's novel shows Edgy using them post Mega Max. So he still has them. The only thing he doesn't have is his Putotera medals. And depending on your interpretation of Ultimatum, that could be him actually in the underworld using them, or at least an avatar of him using them. Which, if it's actually him, then he's using all of his medals, including medals that he never got in series and got in a movie that we accept as canon, I guess, even though it doesn't make sense. We are so close. We were so close.
I mean, yes and no.
I know, but why did we bungle the continuity on O's so hard?
Because we can't let it only be bungled because of build.
Apparently. I don't even know how you can headcanon this out as being like, because I'm like, what, did Edgy leave all his medals at like Kokami Foundation for some stupid reason?
Maybe. But at the same time, he still kept his driver with him, even though he didn't have medals to transform with.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, that it's like you can't really just be like, oh well, he just left him with Kogami. It's like, no. Because wouldn't he have left the driver behind too?
Memory Heroes doesn't even address that, do they?
Nope.
Have we just quietly retconned Mega Max out of existence because of this?
Probably.
What the fuck? That is two separate instances of them not acknowledging the fact that Edgy got all his medals back in O's that except for Putotera. And Ultimatum even says that he got his medal back as an Ultimate. God fucking damn it. And that's the only explanation, is that they've retconned Mega Max out of continuity. So yeah, that's the continuity, folks. It's very upsetting, as you can tell.
And you know, I can't defend Memory of Heroes on that either.
Nope.
Because, you know, naturally I'd want to be like, well, maybe the other corp medals couldn't work, except for we kind of revive Ankh in Memory of Heroes.
Yeah,
meaning that can't happen.
Yeah. It doesn't help that Memory Heroes and Disc pulled the exact same move with Ankh.
Yeah. And not just him. Like, pretty much Edgy's arc in Memory of Heroes is the same as this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I feel like Memory of Heroes is probably more a double game than anything else.
Yeah.
So that does make sense, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Do we have any thoughts on the movie itself and not the continuity going in?
I mean, the movie's good.
Yeah.
Continuity's screwed. But the movie's good.
I feel like the only reason they did it in Memory Heroes, I guess, is just to be like, oh, we can't give you all the combos off the bat, so Edgy can't have his combo medals. But we don't want to do the exact same thing that happened to Shotaro and Philip. So he just doesn't have them. Because like the
I
only
could
reason
see
Shotaro...
that because that would still allow him to have the Ox broken metal kind of deal.
Yeah.
Unless they just expect you to imply the fact that, you know, it happened with Double, it happened with him kind of deal.
I'm trying to remember. Edgy's on the run from something, isn't he?
I believe so.
Maybe
I'd have
he's
to
been...
replay it to remember exactly.
Maybe he's been on the run longer, and maybe he lost his core medals, and then he's getting these as backup.
I mean, that I could see.
Granted, also, that meant he would have lost 2 sets of core medals, because he would have lost the set he got in this movie. That should still exist.
Maybe.
And maybe.
I mean, this was a creation of Foundation X, so they might have had some kind of kill switch on them.
Probably.
I mean, especially seeing as how, you know, kind of fizzled out of existence and only the broken core metal was there.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder if that's at least implied there as to why he doesn't have the medals from this movie. That doesn't fix any other problems. That just fixes the own movie's problems.
Shall we get into the movie then?
Yeah.
30 minutes in.
Yeah.
Alright, kickoff! We start with a flashback to the post-credit scene of True Ending, where Bill showed up and took out the Bugsters and then attacked Emu and Parad as they were mighty brothers and stole Emu's ability to transform. Or I guess just the Bugster virus in him and turned it into the XA Legend Rider full bottle. And
I feel like it's
her.
better to say that he took his ability to transform.
Yeah, because that's not the Bugster virus, because that's Parad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the reason Emu can't transform is because Parad is on an alternate world.
Yeah, why couldn't we have just went with that?
Because, like, Parad also doesn't transform at all the entire movie.
Never mind. I was gonna say, I was kind of on the, well, why couldn't we have just went with that? Except for we've still got to explain how to have the XA bottle.
Yeah.
So, I think I see the problem they hit.
Maybe it could have been that he shoved Parad in a bottle for like 2 years.
No, I got it. He sucked Parad into the bottle. When the bottle was purified, he got spit back out.
Yeah, that would make more sense than him wandering around the fucking world for 2 years not being able to find one fucking person.
Yeah. That am willing to bet was on the same side of the wall as he was.
Yeah, because it spit him out at the dam.
Yeah.
That we keep revisiting, so.
So. Yeah, he can't be that bad with directions.
Yeah. Granted, it is Parad. He does share a brain cell with Emu. And I think he forgoed it when he left.
I mean, did he?
I don't.
I mean,
Maybe. But yeah, that is the post-credit scene of True Ending. But Sento sees all of this as a dream. Maybe. I say maybe because really this is a memory but Sento's getting back his memories because he doesn't remember he's Katsuragi. But as it turns out, he had this bottle because Banjo found the bottle at some point and gave it to him. Which, question. Where the fuck did Banjo find this bottle?
Where the heck did Katsuragi hide the bottle so that Sento didn't find it?
Right. When did Banjo A, hide the ball and find the bottle? B, when did he not give it to Sento and just leave it out in the open for Sento to grab and then fall asleep with to see lead to this scene? Because they fucking throw all this away.
Yeah, this has the big plot convenience stamp of approval.
Yeah. But yeah, Misora took the bottle and decided to purify it, even though it looked like a normal bottle to start with. And actually is a normal bottle, I think. No, wait, no, it's a little bit bigger than a normal bottle. It's like a little thicker. But she ended up purifying it anyway, because I guess she felt like it. And then that turned into the Dr. Gamer full bottles that Sento takes. And Misora's just like, you had it in your hand. I decided to purify it, and it turned into 2 bottles. Bye. I'm going to bed. Upstairs, Banjo's trying to make coffee because I don't remember his name as Misora's dad, but it's Stark. Because Stark has left at this point because he pulled a traitor.
Yeah.
And by pull the traitor, I mean he's always pulled a traitor because he's an asshole.
Yeah, I feel like that's not any kind of spoiler because of the simple fact of the movie even points that out. Like, it doesn't go into details why, but yeah, it kind of points it out.
Uh-huh. But yeah, he's trying to make coffee. Everyone's down about it. He does the explanation that we all just fucking ignore until Misora shows up and is like, there's a smash sighting. Go fight something. And then they go to fight it. We see that it's a bunch of Nebula Bugsters, because I'm just going to spoil that for you. It's Nebula Bugsters. It's Bugsters, but Nebula gas. Because on this world, they found the Bugster virus in the Skywall.
Yeah. Don't ask how.
Because apparently the secrets of dimensional travel are hidden in the Skywall. Apparently. Somehow.
Apparently. And also, they kind of don't explain how the Bugster virus was there. It just was.
Yeah. Also, give me a second. I need to step away.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right, so we're fighting the Nebula Bugsters, right?
Yes.
All right. So they're fighting them. They're not doing damage because Bugster viruses, I guess. But Sento realizes, oh, they look like the thing in my dreams. I'm going to use Dr. Gamer. So he uses the full bottles, goes Dr. Gamer, which turns him into X8.
Yes, into the laziest Legend Rider transformation ever.
Even though there is parts for Doctor and Gamer that are like the normal build suits that are there on screen for exactly 2 seconds before it becomes X8. Why does he become X8? Why does he have the same thing that Decade does? Why?
Yeah.
Why isn't it the fun thing? Why is it the boring thing?
Yeah. Because it feels lazy on that one. And I'm kind of glad that's the only one that they have him do. And we don't see one for all 5 of the others, kind of deal.
Well, they all exist in Gomba Rising, except for Dries, because they never released the F1 full bottle. Or the Dinosaur full bottle.
But I would have to think, did they follow the same concept where Sento just turns into that rider?
Yes.
That is so stupid.
Even better, some of them use some of the full bottles we've already gotten and then use new ones. Like the O's one is the Hawk full bottle from Hawk Gatling plus a metal full bottle. And even though the metal full bottle has its own unique parts, it turns them into O's. It's kind of dumb. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why he just doesn't have like the unique suit parts.
Like,
I like the unique suit parts better.
That is lazy.
Mm-hmm. Also, before they leave to go fight the Nebula Bugsters, Sento asks Banjo what he fights for, and he can't give an answer because I guess because of what happened to my girlfriend doesn't count.
Yeah, it's almost like they just completely forgot.
Even though the essence of the smash that his girlfriend got turned into, that ended up causing her to die because she was sick, is the dragon full bottle that he uses to become Cross to start with.
Mm-hmm.
In case anyone forgot about that plot point from Build. Also, he transforms differently than he does in the show for some reason. Because he puts the cross dragon in the driver first, then slots the bottle into it, pushing it down.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
I did, because the first time he does it, he looks like he's just like, wait, what am I doing? For like the whole scene.
I more found it funny later on when we kind of had a screw up with the 3 X8 riders.
Oh yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Just missed the slot.
But Sento is able to take out the Nebula Bugsters. Banjo decides, hey, I want to do a power-up thing too. And he's got the sparkling bottle, and he tries to slot it into his driver, but gets knocked off a tower and just falls down. And I love that Sento just looks at him and says, like, the fuck are you doing? Stop messing around. And then Sento gets sideswiped by half our villains of, hey, it's Blue Kaiser. I know it's supposed to be, I think, Left Kaiser, Right Kaiser, but it's Blue Kaiser because he's blue. It's Blue Kaiser and Red Kaiser. Because that is about as much as their character amounts to, if I'm being honest.
That, or the only other description you could have for them is Calm Kaiser and Crazy Kaiser.
True. Yeah, that works too. So he comes in, steals the Doctor and Gamer full bottles, and then tries to leave. Banjo follows him. He gets to the dam. Trying to find out where I am in my notes. Right there. Because I was further ahead into my notes than where I was currently at.
I figured.
But Banjo pursues him to the dam, where the guy is just like, do you know about parallel worlds? And Banjo's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I want to punch you. I'm gonna come punch you, as he runs along the slope surface of this dam. I guess to gain momentum to punch him harder, instead of running directly at him. It doesn't work, and Blue Kaiser just throws him in his dimension hopping hand that transports him to regular Earth, I guess. Prime Earth. What the fuck do we call the world where everyone but Build is?
And you know what's bad? I could have tried to be like, the world but except for everyone but Build and Geo, but we honestly have no clue as to where Geo is.
Geo's fucked off to his own world, and it's for the best that he's just over there and we leave him alone. But Banjo lands there and he realizes that there's no sky wall, which will be the second time this happens for them. Because it will happen for them in Heisei Generations Forever, where they're like, oh, there's no sky wall here. That's weird.
Oh my god, you're right. And I didn't even think about that.
But Sento then shows up, causes Bai Kaiser to retreat, but recovers the Doctor and Gamer full bottles. At this point, a portal opens and Build's world comes through the portal and starts to try to collide with regular Earth. The regular Earth we're dealing with. The regular world, I guess. I don't fucking know. The one where everyone else is. But a shield stops them because you're not allowed to do this, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, you might as well just say Prime Earth.
Yeah, the Prime Earth.
Because technically, I guess that's what that would be.
Yeah.
Which also makes you wonder if the events at the end of Build technically put them on Prime Earth. Because that would make more sense.
I would say, for the simplicity of, if you wanted to do a fun crossover thing and not have to involve dimension hopping, yes. Sento and everyone else are now on Prime Earth.
Because I feel like that would be the smarter answer, and I was thinking about that as I was watching. I'm like, that actually would be the answer. Yeah. The show just took place in a different dimension, but now everything's back together. Mm-hmm. Until Geo comes and screws that all up.
Yeah. But as this happened, destruction happens. There's cracks opening on roads, and just roads, nowhere else but roads, because it's cheaper that way.
And totally doesn't send the one bus that is driving into the pit in every scene of that.
Yeah. But all this destruction brings the attention of former riders. or other riders. In this case, Kota, who's currently on his world. Somewhere in deep space. I forgot where the fuck it's supposed to be. I think it said in Gaim where the fuck it was. I think it was like past Pluto or something. Anyway, this
it's
causes
basically way far away. That's the big gist of that one.
Yeah, it catches Kota's attention. Actual Kota this time, because the previous Heisei generation just had Kota appear via reused voice lines.
Yeah, some better than others.
Takaru, who's at his temple. Eiji, who's on this side of the world for once, instead of somewhere else in the world, living the hermit life. And Gentaro, who apparently is currently in Russia. Which I guess isn't far away, depending on where in Russia he is. But the appearance of fucking billions of Nebula Bugsters out of the crack brings Emu and Kiryu's attention, who's currently in his laser level 2 form, and they drive off, and that gives us the title, which I need to talk about this title real quick. So it starts by having the Takacore metal drop, and it takes us into this panoramic view of like the two worlds trying to collide. And then the Heisei rocket switch module flies in. So it's going in order of the riders that from appearance. So naturally you would think, oh, like the Gaim armor drop, like the orange armor drops in, or like the Lockseed flies by, right? Why is it Gaim's head crest? Legitimately, why is it Gaim's head crest?
The only thing I can think of on that is maybe they were trying to pull stuff from like the logos.
Takaru's parka is not a part of Ghost's logo.
Fair, but he's not as old of a rider as the others.
Maybe, I guess.
Maybe that was why they were trying to do that.
Yeah. It just feels weird because the Ore parka flies by for Ghost, and then as we have the like screen that goes onto Emu to turn him into X-Aid, kind of transition us into the Pride Cytocol proper, and then like the tubing from the build snapper makes the final part, like the name final, appear on the title card. So all of them are things related to the rider form and or the transformation. Why is it not the orange armor? Why is, like, I figure why it can't be a crack, because that wouldn't work. It's weird and dumb that Gaim is like the odd one out of this, and I don't like it. It's a nitpicky thing, I know. But anyway, we follow the Nebula Bugsters as they attack a local mall, and I do give them credit. They have a lot of civilians dressed up in the Sawagawa school uniforms. Because you actually see several people run by in the uniform in this scene. So I give them credit for going, oh yeah, no, there would be students. But they're attacking them all, and they're multiplying by hugging people and making Nebula Bugsters pop out of them. Because that's how that works. The school also...
Completely.
Yeah. The school also feels the earthquakes. This is where we see Jay and Oshigi from the series. They tell us that Gentro's in Russia because Yuki is taking off on a space mission, and Kengo's also there to explain why they are not appearing in this movie. or, well, 2/3 of the people mentioned in this sentence are not appearing in this movie. As we get back to the mall, Emu tries to transform. He can't. I do give him credit for just going straight to Muteki in this situation. Like, nah, fuck this. We're going straight to Muteki. We're in this now. Even though later he will not go straight to Muteki for some reason.
I mean, fair.
But that's when Hiro, Taika, and Kiryu, who was there already, or Hiro and Taika show up, and two of them plus Kiryu transform to fight the Nebula Bugsters after Asuna and Nico show up with them, so that Emu, Asuna, and Nico can evac civilians. Question: why the fuck is Poppy not joining them to fight?
Because reasons.
I know, but like, we'll get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I might rant about this. But anyway, they fight the Bugsters and stuff, have a fight scene. They push them back until Red Kaiser shows up and is like, "Hi guys, I'm going to take your transformation away," because he activates his Enigma, and from the merger of the worlds, it disables their gamer drivers because I don't know why. I don't know why, because it doesn't get rid of the Bugster virus because Poppy's still standing there. Okay, and Kiryu, because he's technically a Bugster at the moment.
Yeah.
And later Dan, because he's also a Bugster. So it doesn't get rid of the Bugster viruses, but it disables their gamer drivers. But yeah, he does that, and then he tries to kill them, only for Takaru to have a badass like entrance, because he zooms in, blocks the blast with himself, and then just kind of is standing there in the aftermath of the fire, ready to fight. And also I think the battle music from Ghost is playing at this time, which sounds really good in this scene. I kind of want to say Takaru has a better go of things in crossovers than he did in his own series at this point.
Yes. The only problem is we get back to the everything that has Ghost in it has continuity issues.
Fair.
And I hate that.
Actually, wait, what was the continuity issues for Heisei Generations 1?
I forgot right offhand, but I know that's the recurring theme, is that there's been, at least to some degree. I feel like this is probably one of the few times it's not as bad.
Yeah. But yeah, Takaru, he goes Newton to blow away some Bugsters, tries to fight Red Kaiser. He's like, I don't want to fight you, bye, and just fucks off. Jake and Oshigi are watching, and we also find out that we're on a 24-hour time limit until the worlds collide, and, well, everything goes boom. Simply put, everything goes boom. And they try to get word to Gentaro. We do get a quick shot of Edgy following some familiar white coats, and then cut away, because those white coats end up not mattering. Technically.
Yeah. Honestly, along with the even plot part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's actually a scene that almost could just be wiped and be fine.
Yeah. But then we cut to all of our X8 writers and people trying to handle the massive influx of people hit with the gamer virus. And they also talk to Takaru and Onari because at this point, Onari is running his like own little detective agency with the other two monks, I think. I forget. I forget who he's running the agency with. But he's running a detective agency as an Anna Temple because it plays into the scene at the end of this movie, which honestly should have been cut because it makes no sense. Because it's never a point never brought up in this movie at all. But as it was talking to Takaru and Onari, Banjo shows up and asks Asuna, "Where the fuck's this guy, Walt?" And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Please, sir, we do not have time for crazy bullshit. We have enough crazy bullshit." And when he turns, Emu sees the build driver on him, which I guess it's a good thing he didn't take off the build driver this entire time. Because Emu recognizes it from his encounter with Build. So he's just like, "You're Build!" And Banjo's like, "How the fuck do you know that?" And then they start arguing about Emu wanting his powers back, and Banjo's like, "I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Would you? I don't know, and I kind of don't care." Which I'm like, Banjo, really? You would care. You're at the point in the series where you would care. But as they're arguing, Emu hears Parad talking. And as it turns out, at this exact moment, Parad is confronting Sento because now he found him and he wants the bottle back. And I do love that they have a joke about them both being red and blue riders. Before they go back and forth about the bottles. And that's when Stark shows up to be a dick. Because he's like, "Hey, look, this guy's plans interfere with mine. I'm going to point you in the direction of him, but I'm not going to give you enough information. So can you go handle this for me? Also, here's a couple of full bottles to help you out in exactly one scene of this movie. Bye." Also, Parad can shake one of the bottles, the Dr. Gaber bottles, and that allows him to talk to Emu. Which also exhausts him. I don't know why. Why does it make him tired?
Maybe because it's... I don't know.
But yeah, that's what happens. But they trade info, and then Dan's like, I can help! And thus we get to one of the better scenes in this movie. Because Dan walks on the set and is just like, "I have the answer! Which is... make a Build gas app, because I got Build's essence after he murdered me on accident in episode 44 of X8. And he turned that into a gas app. That allows him to become dangerous zombie Build, except he doesn't have any of the Build parts on him. Even though he should, because all the X8 gas hats give the unique forms. But that allows him to beat... that allows him to beat the Nebula Bugsters. But it times out and also hurts him. So then he has to beat the last one in his Bugster form. Technically not a human form, but his Bugster form. With his weapon. And by his weapon, I mean Emu's weapon that he borrows all the time. And I love that this entire time with all these scenes, because everyone's like, hey, Dan, can you make more of them? And he's completely off his rocker as usual. And Onari has to handle him because he knows exactly how to handle fucking people like this. Because I'm sure a few of them have shown up at the temple before. But I love that Banjo's like, is this guy stupid? Like, no, is this guy really stupid? And it's like, are we sure it's okay that we have this handled? Are we sure we have this handled? I'm like, I kind of wish Banjo would have just punched him and just be like, help us, please. Just help us or I punch you. Because I feel like Banjo's reaction is my reaction to Dan anymore. But meanwhile, Sento gets information from Kentoku, who, by the way, in the episode following this movie, will reveal himself as Night Rogue. So this is the last thing he gets to do for Sento before he goes full heel and tries to kill him. And Sawa about this Professor Moami. I think I spelled that correctly from what it's supposed to be. Did I? I don't remember.
I don't run it offhand either.
Yeah. But yeah, they find out that he worked with Katsuragi and tried to find a way to travel dimensions with the Bugster virus in the sky wall because we've already talked about this. It's dumb. But because of all this, he looks in the database he has and he manages to find the stuff about Xaid. And I guess where to go find Moami. So him and Parad head out. We head back over to Emu. And he decides to go out and try to help people, even though he can't transform, because that's what writers do. And that's the thing everyone keeps hammering into Banjo, and it takes him the entire movie to figure out. So they head out, and at this point we find out that we are at 6 hours remaining. So over the course of exactly 2 scenes, we're now at the 6 hour mark. Which means we've lost 18 hours doing nothing, I guess. Maybe I would say it should have been like 12 hours, but then everything would have to have taken place at night.
Fair.
Maybe it should have been you just have 6 hours. But that might, you know what, I don't know. I should stop complaining about the timeline of this movie. But Sento's fighting some of the Bugsters. Parad doesn't help. He just, evacs civilians. Even though he should be able to transform. I still don't know why Parad or Poppy don't transform in this movie. It's so weird. Because, Poppy should be able to transform, right? She doesn't use the gamer driver, and they say only the gamer drivers are disabled. So, why shouldn't she be able to transform?
Good question.
But as Sento's fighting them, this draws out Blue Kaiser. He fights him. He's having a rough go of it until he goes Phoenix Robots and then kicks Blue Kaiser's ass, and then Blue Kaiser leaves. But Sento planted a tracking device on him, so him and Parad follow. Parad then explains how Muteki works, according to this movie at least, because he says that, him and Evu combine, fuse together, and they can go Muteki. Except that's not how that works. Emu can go Muteki on his own. You have your own rider things that are just as strong as Muteki. That's I guess the only reason they bring this up is because it lets them figure out Moami's plan now. Because with that, he has Parad contact Emu to explain what's going to happen. And then we cut to 3 hours from the time, 3 hours on our time limit, as Emu and Banjo are fighting Bugsters. Emu's just fighting them with his sword, which is probably the most badass thing he's done out of his suit ever. It's just him just swinging as hard as he can at these Bugsters. But they're fighting. The other X-Aid Riders come in with their weapons and are fighting until Takuru's like, hey, I've got your gas hats for you. And they slot him in, transform. Is this where someone slots something in the wrong slot?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, do the three of them slot all their regular ones in the second slot?
No.
Oh.
We get a... What's funny is it actually even happens audio, because I kind of caught on to that. We get a staggered transformation jingle out of all of them, because Hero kind of misses his.
Yeah. That's the last time he's got to do it before he does another ending, so. But anyway, they're now fighting Bugsters in rider forms that won't last long. Takuru decides to join up with them because he can fight. Wouldn't he be able to fight them considering he has the X-Aid gas hat? Because he makes references to Heisei generations in this movie.
I would think so.
But it would have been cool if he actually used that in this movie for just a quick scene to be like, oh yeah, he can fight the Bugster virus too because he has the X-Aid icon. But I guess it just doesn't exist anymore, so we couldn't do that. But back over to Banjo and Emu. A crack ends up overing under Banjo. He falls in. Emu catches him, but he can't hold on for long. Banjo's about to fall until Edgy shows up and helps pull Banjo out. And then the two of them follow Edgy to the Foundation X laboratory, where the other villain of this movie is. Where Red Kaiser is. We check in with Sento and Parad. They arrive at the one dam from before, because it's literally the same location that they keep going back to. I don't know why they had to follow him there. It was the last place he was at. I'm pretty sure he's still there. But they follow where Blue Kaiser is. Sento heads in alone because Parad needs a second to not be tired, I guess. And at the same time, Edgy and the others are climbing the tower. Also here, Banjo asks why Edgy is a rider, and he gives his reason. So again, Banjo's finding out why they do what they do, because that's the thing in this movie, even though it's not really the focus of the movie, to be honest. I don't know why it is. It's just for Banjo's character in this movie. Because nothing else in this movie needs this in it.
Yeah.
But I do like that Edgy's just like, you'll understand it one day. Because he's like, you'll find your reason to fight. It's fine. No rush. But they get to the top of the tower, and Sento gets deeper into the dam, and they both confront the villains of Mogami and Mogami. So it turns out it's the same person, just on two different worlds, because the blue one is half robot and dying because Katsuragi was like, you're crazy, I don't want to work with you anymore, and accidentally got him burned. And the red one is eccentric and crazy. So standard hiring qualities for Foundation X for their scientists. Good to know. But the two of them hatch the plan to fuse the worlds together and fuse themselves together, because fusing themselves together by doing this makes them immortal. Therefore, they can fuck off to another world, because when they fuse the worlds together, it goes boom. But they'll be alive, so they can fuck off to another world and, like, rule it, and then conquer another parallel world after that, I guess? Or whatever their plan is after this point. But the red one reveals, hey, since I work for Foundation X, here's some core metals that have a silver trim instead of a gold one, because it's our versions of the core metals, and 4 horoscope switches, because we got a few of those laying around. So he makes all the greed from O's appear, including Ankh, who, after he 6th degreed on him, goes directly for Edgy, and Edgy doesn't want to fight it because he wants to try to reach the Ankh, the good part of Ankh that's in this copy, even though that's not how any of these have ever worked, but whatever. But after it, like, breaks a hole in the wall and he tries to get to it, it kind of, I guess, weakens enough mentally for proper Ankh to hijack it, and it just takes him a bit to get control of it. I'm going to assume that's what happens, because that's what makes sense in my head. What do you think?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to assume that's what happened. That's a series of events. Because it falls out the hole. Edgy follows, trying to catch it. And I guess hoping that Ankh wakes up, because I guess since he doesn't have his core metals, he can't fly them out of this situation. So Ankh takes control, turns into his normal form that we see him all series. The two of them work their way back up the tower, as Banjo and Emu try to hold their own, and nothing's working. Only for Edgy and Ankh to show up. Ankh grabs the metals to make Tatoba, throws them to Edgy, and he transforms into O's, fights the greed, takes the fight outside, which leaves Banjo and Emu to deal with Red Kaiser, which they fail at. We already talked about O's for some reason needing these metals to transform. But Banjo fails to really do anything to Red Kaiser, and he almost kills them, only for Gentaro to show up out of nowhere and rescue them and take them to the Amawagawa High School. Because apparently Red Kaiser parked his Enigma at the school because space magic was needed. Apparently. I don't know why Gentaro has that figured out. I guess he asked Kingo before he left. But he takes them there. It's being guarded by 4 horoscopes. Gentaro transforms to fight them while they go deal with the Enigma. Back with Sento and Parad, the two of them are where they think the Enigma is, but they can't see it. And then Kota walks up and drop kicks the damn thing before it can kill them. Because, remember, Kota is still technically a god, even though he's in regular clothes. So he drop kicks it and then fights a fucking army of guardians while they go deal with the Enigma. But once both parties are inside, Sento just lands on a gamble, which is, if we turn the machines on early enough, it won't fuse the worlds, and it won't make Kaiser immortal. So we're gonna do that, even though it will cause some damage. That feels like a stupid plan.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But I guess it works. So they do that. Sento and Parad head to Prime Earth and regroup with everyone else. He gives the bottle, Sento gives the bottles to Emu. Emu gets his transformation abilities back. And the two of them transform as the Kaiser's using the Bi-Kaiser. And then they hop on their bikes, which, for reference, Emu hops on the corpse of Laser instead of actual Laser for this fight. Which I think is kind of funny. But the other riders join them, and then the best scene in this movie is Emu was like leading up to saying his catchphrase, and then everyone says their catchphrase at the same time. And then they all have an argument about it. And I love that if you can pay attention to the subs and parse out who's saying who in this scene, it's wonderful little character nods, because Edgy ends up being the parent and telling Gojo to sit down after he gets up on his bike to argue. I love this scene. I want more of this in Rider. Of just these characters bouncing off each other.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Mm-hmm. But they all ride off. They all beat up some Guardians on their bikes for a bit until Emu and Sento head up on the Enigmas to go fight Bi-Kaiser for a bit, while the other riders blow up some Guardians and do some form changes as they usually do. At some point, Edgy goes Tajador, while the others go Cosmic, Mugen, and Kiwami, respectively. So pretty much they're all in their final forms except for Edgy, because he just goes Tajador instead of Putotera, because they didn't bother to make purple core medals.
Or because Tajador is actually his final form.
I mean that too, but I'm sure someone will argue with you about it.
I mean, fair.
But as the other two are fighting Enigma, the other four riders, once they've cleared out the Guardians a bit, decide to blow up the piles of Guardians holding the Enigmas up so they can fuse, so they can like hold hands and fuse the worlds, which only causes the Enigmas to then go and fly off. Which I also want to point out at this point, Parad has went inside of Emu, which is where he is for the rest of the movie, until the end of it. And again, I have to ask, why didn't you pop out, and help them fight Bi-Kaiser? Parad, you're a rider. You can transform. Why don't you transform? But the Enigmas decide to just hold hands and fly around. Which Banjo sees this and sees all the other riders fighting, and it's just like, why did they fight? And then it just kind of clicks for him, and he's just like, fine, I'll fight too. And then he declares himself Kamen Rider Cross and goes and joins the fight, fighting like a small group of Guardians that are next to the building he hops off of. At this point, Emu goes Miteki, Sento goes Sparkling. They beat up Bi-Kaiser and reveal that, hey, we made all the machines go off early, so you're technically not immortal. We're riding kicking your face off. But before they do, all the riders get to more or less explain why they are a rider, and everyone gives the answer you would expect them to, so there's no surprises here. Like, literally, if you know their characters, it's the exact answer they should give. So I give them credit for that. And it's nice that the other four are before they do a rider kick in their final forms. But Emu and Sento rider kick Bi-Kaiser. He blows up. The Enigmas go boom. All the damage gets repaired. Day is saved! Sento and Banjo say their goodbyes to the other riders, who all encourage them and give them like, hey, you'll save your world too and make it a better place. and they're like, hey, if you need our help, you can find us. About that. Maybe Sento should have given them a call. That would probably have helped with the end of build. I know they couldn't because budget, but that might have helped. But ending off, Emu and Parad are back with the rest of the X8 crew. They all dunk on Dan and want to shove him back in his cell, which, good for them. Takaru and Inari head back to the temple, and Inari begs Takaru to come back, which I don't know why he does to start with, but whatever. Gentaro head back to school to continue his teaching stuff and get ready for Ultimatum that happens in however long it takes for us to get the Ultimatum in this move from this point onward. Edgy and Ankh share a moment before Ankh disappears back into the cracked core metal because they ain't never fixing that shit. Why would we fix it? Why would we make sure that there's not a time paradox? And then Sento and Banjo almost figure out that Sento is Katsuragi before they have to go fight some Smash, which is the post-credit scene, which as it turns out is just a bunch of Guardians. But Grease runs past them to steal back the Phoenix Robot full bottles and just is like, I'll see you guys later. And then that's the movie. So how'd you feel about the movie?
Well, when you don't nitpick it, because yeah, I had to force myself not to.
Yeah,
it was a good movie. It's got problems, but let's be honest, most of the problems are the same stuff Toei continues to deal with. Looking at you, continuity.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
it's nothing that hurts the movie, in my opinion.
No. It's good. I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite of the three Heisei generations of movies. Probably, I don't know. No, I probably like Pac-Man more than this, if I'm being honest. That might be the Sakamoto bias because he directs that movie and he directs that movie really good. And I like the Legend Rider scenes in that movie kind of more than these, even though this has the declarations of why we're writers and stuff, which I'm always a sucker for that. Like when you make that title when you make the Kamen Rider a title and it make it mean something in a series and have character and stuff about that, I love that and I'm incredibly about that, and this movie does that, but I wish it did it more because it's just for Banjo and it's not really all there for Banjo, unfortunately.
I think rewatching this has got me realizing that a lot of the why be a writer stuff with Banjo was probably shoehorned in after the fact.
Probably.
It was probably a case of the movie was pitched without that and someone was like, no, that has to be there.
I also wish Poppy and Parad got to actually do something in this movie.
Yeah.
Because,
at least Parad.
Yeah.
Because of the simple fact of we, kind of were allowing secondary writers to do stuff.
Some stuff, mind you, yeah, but not a super whole lot.
Yeah, but I mean, still, simply throwing him in for a fight scene would have been fine.
Yeah.
Especially when we had it set up where he could have helped.
That would have been cool if it was actually Sento and Banjo for Sento Banjo, Parad, and Emu versus Baikaiser. I think that would have been cooler. But
Well, I'm not even meaning there.
yeah.
We could have at least let Parad do something before there because of, when him and Sento were fighting before Phoenix Robo's, I guess, technically debut?
Yeah.
I mean, we could have at least had him helping in a better capacity there. Instead of being the narrative.
Yeah.
I feel like if we at least had that, I might let Poppy not doing anything slide a little more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess the reason they don't is because we don't want to take too much away from what our returning writers are doing, because they get to take up like all of the big fight sequences at the end of the movie, because pretty much Brave and them get like the start of a fight scene and then get to do nothing else for the rest of the movie after they like get the built gas hats.
Yeah, but why couldn't we at least let Parad do the same thing?
True.
Like that's the problem.
But yeah, other than that, it's good. I enjoy it. I like it when we get good crossover movies like this. It's when we get the bad ones that are just like, oh god, no, why? Because they're really bad. If I'm being honest. All right. Speaking of crossover movies that are okay, I wouldn't say bad, but have parts of it that aggravate me to no end. Hi, Geo.
So,
we're doing Rare Regenerations next week.
So what I'm hearing is half of it. Got it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember the version I put on the drive real quick. I'm trying to remember if I got something or not. That just because I might swap out a file on that. Yeah, I'm gonna swap out a file real quick because you remember when we got Rare Regenerations as a like in an official release?
No, actually.
Yeah, we got it for I think Writer Week, or like for the anniversary weekend thing. We got.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I did upload that version to the drive because I also downloaded that version. Because, okay, here's the thing: the only reason I get those copies is so there is proof that they did it. And also, I am all about preservation of media, so I'm making sure that this still exists, because I am going to keep a copy of it in my back pocket. So, it's going to be specifically that subversion of it that we'll take a look at. But you got anything else to add?
no.
All right, then between now and then, Thursday, we're going to start Great Ace Attorney. Probably just the first of the two we'll get through before we swap over to... Fuck, I forgot. what I'm doing next after that. One second. I have to remember this because I don't have it written down anywhere. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're doing that for all of September because whenever Metroid Dread releases on October, we're starting that. So we'll probably just get through the first game. Unless I'm really slow with it. That's Thursday. Friday is a thing.
A thing.
Yep. And Saturday will be TGS, where we get to talk about that wonderful lawsuit that Activision Blizzard is facing from the state of California. That wonderfully long legal document, among other things. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that Philly goal. @Soon on Twitter gets updates on my life. Next special link, Discord and chat. It's Discord link. Drop by. Say hi. See you Thursday, folks.